This life is a fight. What are you focused on? There will be doubt. Pain, it's inevitable. But when that bell rings, will you be ready? What up, the bucket heads? What up? What up? Welcome back to the Spit Bucket Podcast. This is episode 135. 135. I am your host, JJ Solomon, and we got a fun one today. I got to play some catching up. Got a guest. Well, I got a guest who's covering the fight for the Spit Bucket, Eric Lopez of P4P Boxing Channel. He's been on the show before, but he'll be joining us here in a bit, probably about half an hour or so, right around 2:30 Central Time. So he'll jump on and we'll discuss the fight. We'll make our fight picks, all that fun stuff. He'll be directly from Vegas. And then we'll touch on a few more items. Also today, I'm going to open up, since I haven't been live since the Claressa Shields fight. I want to put somewhat of a high-level bow on that fight and just kind of the wrap-up of what I took from ATL. Incredible weekend, by the way. Incredible weekend. And then obviously touch a little bit on Amanda Serrano's win last night. That was supposed to be his record-breaking knockout performance. So we'll tie the Claressa Shields, Amanda Serrano story that I'm sure everybody's already licking their chops to talk about. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then obviously we'll close up with Teofimo Lopez, Rolly Romero, WBA strap, 147 pounds. So should be fun. It should be fun fight. Housekeeping though, man. Let's just remind everybody, Buckethead enrollment is wide open. There's a QR code. Boom, there it is. There's a QR code, or you can just sign up directly through here. What's being a Buckethead, you might ask? So for every Buckethead, you get a monthly drawing, so into our quarterly ticket giveaway. So we do ticket giveaways every quarter, at least once. Our first one was Xander Zayas. Our second one was Claressa Shields. First one was Zayas boots and his and then the other one was Claressa Shields. And then on Monday, I'm going to announce what our next giveaway is. We've already got it set up. We've already got the merch drop ready for it because Buckethead Pros, our second tier of membership, gets the merch for free every quarter and the 2 entries per month into that drawing. So if it's a quarterly drawing, you'll have 6 entries if you're a member for 3 months. If you're just that Buckethead, the regular Buckethead, you'll have 1 entry per month. So keep up with that. Be sure y'all sign up. If you're not watching on YouTube, go directly to spitbucket.com and you'll see all the deal about the memberships on there. On YouTube, you can sign up for memberships directly through here just with one of your memberships. But if you're on X, Podbean, Apple Pod, all of those other ones, thespitbucket.com, or just scan on the QR code. Just a special shout out to Jim Boone and KO Tickets for making that whole quarterly ticket giveaway possible. This guy is the plug. He is the plug for tickets. Not only are the tickets inexpensive and much better price, no taxes, no fees, but you're not having to go in and create a login and a password and verify your identity and sync it up with your email and all that sort of deal. You send them your email, he'll forward on over to you. And you got yourself some tickets. There's still tickets available for tonight's fight. So hit up Jim Boone. Just a reminder, check him out on the socials. You can call the Las Vegas office, or you can literally text Jim Boone himself directly there on the number at your screen, 702-591-1638. Much love and appreciation to Jim and the team over at KO Ticket. What up? Willie Mupp and Beeman. Put some color in the chat, support the channel and the hoes. I appreciate you, my guy. And I was about to hit you up because I got the drop ready for our next shirt, and you are one of our members, our Buckethead Pros, so you get our free shirt for. And I still owe you a GWOAT shirt too. So that was the GWOAT Atlanta shirt. So I'll get with you. I'll send you that. Maybe knock them all out at once. But anyway, man, appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the support. All right, moving right along, guys. Let's get right into this. I'm already 5 minutes in, and I know I got Eric at P4P coming up here in a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about Clarissa. Now let me do this right. The GWOAT, Clarissa T-Rex Shields. Look, she was in Atlanta last week. Huge vibes. She was there back down at 160 pounds as a challenger to come back and start her new takeover of the 160-pound division against Kay Scott. I'm not going to make this discussion so much about the fight because, as we know, Clarissa was the heavy favorite. Not taking anything away from Kay Scott, tremendous amateur pedigree there, a world champ in just a few fights. So that says a lot about the character of just going through the amateur system and all that sort of deal. We're not going to spend this time crapping on anybody, especially a former world champ. So I want to talk more about, the vibes of Atlanta. I want to talk about the performance a bit and just kind of, when I say performance, how she looked at 160. Was there any residual effects because of the weight drop, weight cut? And then just touch a little bit about GWOAT. But first, man, I just have to touch on this. I have to say this. If y'all go to Clarissa Shields YouTube right now and y'all look at the 5 days to glory or 5 days to history, and at the very end, I made an appearance. Your boy made an appearance. I asked her a question there at the presser, and I said, there was a reason I'm asking this. I'm not just flexing. I straight up asked her. Man, I had no idea I was going to ask her going into fight week that this would be a question. But I straight up said, Clarissa, congrats. And how does it feel to be the biggest star in boxing? And I wasn't just saying that because I was in front of Clarissa and I was trying to gas her up and I was trying to make her people feel good, or I was trying to make the video cut, which I did. Y'all go check it out. It's at the 11-minute mark of that video. But anyway, I asked her that because I meant it. And I didn't know I was going to be meaning that. That was my first Clarissa Shields fight I've attended and first one I've covered. Guys, she sold out an arena where an NBA team plays, not a local high school arena. She sold it out, 16,000 plus. I think it may have got to 17,000. She don't live there. That's not her backyard. You can't use it was Detroit excuse. Brand new city in a brand new area of the country. And she sold it out, man. And it didn't have anything to do with who her opponent was. It wasn't this bout or a fight or a matchup that's been marinating for years. It was just Clarissa Shields fighting again. And she sold it out. The city was vibing for the GWOAT. It was an amazing experience. Shout out to Atlanta. I tweeted this, put it on all the socials. Atlanta entered the chat as one of my new favorite cities, man. That place was cool. The culture there, it was just a whole vibe. Yeah, I was just there for 3 days. Yeah, it was just downtown. But man, the moment I stepped off the plane, I could just feel the difference. So shout out to the people of Atlanta. But yeah, going back to GWOAT. A couple things I want to touch on too. No. We'll wrap up with the GWOAT conversation about this. The performance itself, the massive weight drop. You're always worried about the Roy Jones effect. That's the one that comes to mind, where a guy went and did his thing up in the big weights, came back down, and just was never the same. And unfortunately for Roy, suffered a terrible knockout, career-changing knockout. And we were worried about that with Clarissa, but she looked phenomenal. She was on this show and she's saying she was chasing the knockout. She said it's always about the knockout, but there was a little bit extra motivation this time. I'm sure all the naysayers had something to do too, but I really think Clarissa just wanted to put on a show, and man, you could feel it early in the fight. You could feel it. She came out different. She came out wanting to cause some damage. We haven't really seen that Clarissa that's not just trying to box. And I'm going somewhere with this. Are we seeing a Clarissa that's getting better and better and better? It's really hard to tell because yes, I get it, guys. She's so over. She's so her opponents are so undermatched. She's so overmatched. But that's not Clarissa's fault, guys. Y'all seen the record? Clarissa hasn't fought people with lopsided records. She hasn't fought somebody who's less than 500 wins and losses comparison. I'm not going to sit here and say every one of Clarissa Shields' opponents have been this juggernaut. But I remember what she did to Savannah Marshall in Savannah's backyard. I remember what she did with Danielle Perkins. Big Danielle Perkins, true heavyweight. So I'm also not here just to be like, guys, y'all need to trust me. Like, if you don't see it, I feel bad for you. If you want to play all the extra narratives about why Clarissa isn't great, and especially if it doesn't have to do with what she does in the ring, if it has something to do with her personality or she says could beat men and blah, 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 blah. All right, well, I'm not going to argue with you. You're not talking about boxing at that point. We're talking about favorites and who your BFF is and who has clearer skin and who has what. Man, y'all talking about some weird shit. Who wore it first? Whose swimsuit was whose idea? That's not what this channel's about. I'm talking about in the ring. She is not only she doing what she's supposed to do with these opponents who are, yes, they're undermatched. But I always ask the question, for me, you show your greatness if you're overmatched by doing exactly what you're supposed to do in the ring against those undermatched opponents. And Clarissa continues to do it. She doesn't get caught up in her own success during camp. She doesn't just assume the victory is going to show up. She puts in that work and she makes her opponents look like C, D opponents. And you might say, well, JJ, they are C or D opponents. No, because look what they do after Clarissa. I've said this before. I'll say it again. And I'm going to put Clarissa in this conversation now. And it started with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is an asterisk. And I say it started from my brain because obviously you have the Floyd Mayweathers. He's a human asterisk. And what I mean by that is when you look at these great fighters or these great world champs, William Cepeda, for example, and you go down his resume and you say, oh, damn, he lost to Shakur Stevenson. Our normal kind of mental reaction is, yeah, but that was Shakur Stevenson. You know, that's an asterisk. Yeah, but look what Cepeda came out and did recently against Lamont Roach. You know, with Clarissa Shields, look what Danny, damn it, I'm forgetting her name. Danny, whoever she fought, Danny. Anyway, she goes out and looks amazing in her next fight. Danielle Perkins looks amazing. It looks amazing. World champ. Yeah, she got stripped recently because of weight issues. But what I'm saying is, yeah, you look at these other girls, these bums, what y'all call them, these C-level opponents, and they're world champs. They're scoring knockouts in their own environment, in their own ecosystem. How the hell is it Clarissa Shields' fault that she's so much better than them? How do y'all use that against her? That should be the reason you're calling her the GWOAT. Because she's so much better than them and she continues to do it. Do you know how hard it is to motivate yourself to be excellent when the person across the ring from you, you know, is not gonna, you've probably seen better in your career. Not much they're gonna present that you haven't seen. Clarissa consistently continues to come in and go in a camp, work her ass off, come out, do what has to be done, and make it look easy. It's not easy, but she does it. She makes it look easy. That's why when people shit on Triple G and that crazy 20+ fight streak he had, it drives me crazy. B-Hop, like those type of, who have they fought? Man, those are bums early in the career. When you go into a fight as a world champ, you are fighting the best version of your opponent because they want what you have. And to be able to do that for 5 consecutive fights, 10 consecutive fights, 15 consecutive fights, to do it fight after fight after fight against other professionals, that's all I need to know. Because every single one of us and every single one of our careers has off days. Or if you work real hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you kind of feel entitled to take a light Friday, right? These fighters show up. These legends show up. And you can say all you want about the resumes or the names on those lists, but ask yourself, what did they do with those names on their list? And they walked through them. They made them look ordinary. In my Floyd Mayweather voice, making the extraordinary look ordinary. And for that, guys, you have to get out of your feelings and give these legends their props. Claressa Shields did not have backings by any major promotion companies after winning not one, but 2 gold medals. Zero backing. Now that she's got some backing, look what she's doing. She's putting the asses in the seats, selling out arenas. When I asked her, is she the biggest star? I meant that. Who else is doing that? Only one I can think of right now that's consistently doing that is Tank Davis. But I don't even know if we can call Canelo a showstopper if he doesn't have the right opponent anymore. Same thing with Tank. Maybe people are going to still show up with Tank despite the opponent. But look what Claressa's doing without even having a rival, without having a Jake Paul pushing her. This episode is also not a comparing and saying Claressa's the GWOAT and Amanda Serrano's not, because I'm about to get into some Serrano, and it may sound like I'm shitting on her, but I'm just keeping it real. And I'm not gonna shit on Serrano, by the way. But I just get so upset when everybody's in their feelings about Claressa. Sure, she said she would beat up men, professional champs. That's the one issue I have with her. Not with her, what she says, her marketing. It's not the person. Claressa's a peach. She's lovely. Sometimes she says weird shit. We all do. Ryan Garcia said he can knock Terrence Crawford out. That's just as absurd to me. Maybe not as absurd, but it's pretty damn absurd. Let these fighters be confident. Let them have their delusion. That's what gets them out the bed, and that's what makes them chase these dreams. But yeah, sure, I have a problem a little bit with saying you can beat a Rolly Romero or any of these guys. But if you go back and watch the post-fight press conference here on the channel, go to Claressa Shields' post-fight press conference. Somebody asked her, about fighting men, and I think she's starting to tap the brakes on that. She said Pap won't let her, but you can tell she's starting to tap the brakes on that marketing campaign, if you want to call it. With the exception of that, man, she's a lovely woman, man. No damn drama, no nothing. You know, you can talk about the Pap situation all you want. We're a boxing channel. And I can go through lists and lists of names of male fighters who've probably done the same shit. But we don't talk about it because it's dudes, right? So all that to say, GWOAT, the GWOAT. I think you are, if not you are definitely a face of boxing. You have to look at the numbers. You're putting asses in the seats. You're bringing out crowds. You're changing the vibes of the city for a few days. And you did it all on your own. You did it all without the machine that is boxing. Matter of fact, you did it in spite of them. There is a machine right across the street. And let's get into that. Amanda Serrano gets win number 50 yesterday, or going to break the knockout record that she's currently tied, I think, at 32 with Christy Martin. Whole damn marketing strategy for this fight was the knockout. And almost like they forgot about, hey, well, what about just going in there and focusing on beating Lucretia Manzura? Well, guys, karma's real. Bulletin board material, that shit is real. And, salute to Lucretia. Salute to Manzura for not just understanding the assignment and say, I guess I'm supposed to go in here and just get beat. What an effort. A lot of people thought she won that fight. Look, I scored it 114, but I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of loose scoring, and I was kind of being lenient towards Amanda Serrano. Shout out to Round by Round, by the way. Y'all go download the Round by Round app. It's in the App Store and Google Play, whatever the hell you find in Android. But it is a game changer. You can live score and discuss the fight at the same time. You can see schedules. You can look up other boxers. Yeah, y'all go check out the app. But anyway, it reminded me because I was scoring the fight last night. But I had it 114, and I'll be honest, I wasn't in super locked in judge mode. I was being a little lenient. So had that fight leaned toward Mansour yesterday, I would not have been surprised. But it leaned kind of heavy towards Amanda Serrano. Scorecards. I didn't jot down the damn scorecards. I thought I had them here. 114, 114, 116, 112, 116, 112, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, I was trying to be so smooth with my Amanda Serrano transition, talking about MVP across the street that I didn't talk about what's next for Clarissa. Look, just to do it justice, just to do my proper job. Lauren Price, Michaela Mayer, Tam Tebow. In that order. I don't care what order between the first two. I understand the love for the idea of fighting an Olympian from another country across the pond. Her and Michaela Mayer would both be moving up. You're still going to have some naysayers there. In my opinion, the best plan is to beat those names. Lauren Price. I think Michaela Mayer will give her some trouble, but I just think Clarissa will have more tools in the toolbox and more experience in deep waters or in threats to deep waters, because Clarissa's taking shots from big opponents. She's pretty much seen it all. So while I think Michaela Mayer will give some pushback and some resistance, I think Clarissa over the 10-round fight will slowly separate it and just kind of show the dominance. Could be wrong though. Michaela Mayer's tough. But then what that'll set up is a good 12 to 18-month gap for Tam, who is still getting her legs under her in this women's professional sport. Now she's got two of those straps in middleweight. In the next 12 months, if she moves and continues to develop and continues to build that just understanding of the sport at this level, man, a year and a half or two from now, to see Clarissa versus a Tam Tebow, undisputed fight, one that's actually been in the works, there's the game plan for me. I hope to see it. Boxing wins if that goes down. There's no doubt in my mind that Clarissa will sign up to take those fights. So anyway, we got a few minutes before Eric comes on, so I definitely want to talk about Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano, again, as we were saying, that was a tough-ass fight. She went in chasing a knockout. By the end of that fight, it appeared to be she was in survival mode. But look, guys, again, I'm not going to break that fight down X's and O's, because that was kind of like a themed fight, right? A themed fight. The knockout, the break the record, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. I could totally see how a 37-year-old who is building out a company, who is looking for new talent, who is worried about the marketing side of things, kind of Apollo Rocky-ish, can walk in not at their 100% best, especially when that 37 age is, for me at least, when I started realizing that things were changing physically. If Amanda's still thinking she's 32-year-old Amanda, walk in and take over, I can see how Father Time gave her a gentle reminder that no, this ain't just going to be easy peasy anymore. So I'm not looking at that fight to judge her legacy whatsoever. But what I am saying is, like, if we're going to compare and contrast, Serrano means what Serrano's legacy to the sport is completely different to what Clarissa Shields' legacy to the sport is. Clarissa's legacy has constantly been doing this, and it still is doing this. Amanda Serrano had built an incredible career the old-fashioned way, and she said yesterday, I was about to retire broke. Then she found Jake Paul. Jake Paul found her. Her career skyrocketed in terms of marketing and dollars and revenue, and now she's opening opportunities for other girls. But look, that wasn't Clarissa's goal. Clarissa's goal was to get out of the damn mud. So they're both impacting it. So while you say, yeah, Amanda's giving other girls the opportunity, Clarissa single-handedly is putting the sport on the map. And yeah, you could say so is Amanda, but with the help of Jake Paul. Because Amanda's name really wasn't carrying any weight amongst casuals before Jake Paul. So I'm not sitting here shitting on one or praising the other. Their legacies are both incredible. What they've done, both incredible. Huge for the sport. There shouldn't be us having to force to pick sides, because they're huge for the sport, and it's almost silly to pick a side. We should be thankful to both of them. because now women's boxing is a legitimate conversation. We saw the undercard yesterday. Lot of talent that maybe I should probably do a different episode on one day. But salute to both ladies. Let me make sure I don't have any other note. I don't want to do. I was gonna have like a who's greater. Let's compare the resumes and all that, but it's pointless because when you do that, when you're recognizing one, you're kind of taking away from the other. I want to make sure I didn't have any notes that I really wanted to get to. Let me see. Hold on. Y'all bear with me before we move on. All right, I think we're good. I think we're gonna move on, and it looks like we got pound for pound waiting for us already. What's up with it, Eddie? What's up, Primo? Let me take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back to talk some Teofimo Lopez, Rolly Romero. You guys stand by. Hey, real quick, guys, I want to talk to you about my buddy Trevor over at No Worries Home Sale. Listen, if you or somebody you know is behind on house payments, if they're stressing out, dealing with foreclosure, if they inherited a house, if you're going through divorce, if you just need to sell that house fast, get the cash and move on, definitely reach out to Trevor. Look, they buy houses as is all over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So you ain't got to worry about cleaning anything out, fixing anything up, dealing with like realtor commissions and all those headaches that normally come with selling a house. I know Trevor personally. He genuinely cares about helping people through tough situations and finding solutions that actually make sense. So if you need to sell a house fast for cash anywhere here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, call or text 817-668-5788. Let them know the Spit Bucket sent you, or you can go to noworrieshomesale.com. Jeez, shut up, JJ. No, anyway, for real though, y'all go check out noworries.com or noworrieshomesale.com. Tell my homie Trevor I sent you. If you need to sell your house, you need some cash, and you don't know where to start, just call him. He'll get you hooked up. But moving right along, man, Fun part of the show. Obviously, Rolly Romero, Teofimo Lopez throwing down this weekend for welterweight supremacy in Las Vegas. Let me bring onto the stage. We've actually got a correspondent reporting live for the Spit Bucket, but you guys show him some love. Eric Lopez of P4P Boxing. How are you, sir?
What's up, my man? I just want to say, we beat Lomachenko, bro.
All right, so you all the way in Rolly-Teo mode
bro.
Already.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm ready.
Man, so look, dog, appreciate you being out there doing the dirty work, man. The boots on the ground. Before we dive into X's and O's, how's Vegas treating you? How's the fight vibes? How's everything going out there?
It's good, bro. I mean, obviously today's the day, you know what I mean? So the energy's a little bit higher. I'm not gonna say it's been the biggest, fight week. It doesn't seem like it's one of the big mega fights, obviously. But I think the press conference really turned it up. Before that, I felt like it was like completely flat. Like, it was just gonna be kind of an average weekend fight. But after that press conference, I don't know if it's a bias in Vegas or whatnot, but a lot of people got Rolly, bro, which surprised
Really?
me. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you ask around, people that like boxing, hey, who you got there? They're picking Rolly, and I don't know if that's because they like how he portrays himself. They like his personality, but a lot of people believe in Rolly.
That's wild. I was literally going to ask, be my next question is like, who do you see to have the more casual support out there? So you're saying it's growing to be Rolly, or people just coming out Team Rolly?
I've heard more Rolly, bro, and
That's
even those
wild,
who,
dog.
yeah, I know, and even those who have said they think Tio, they still end up saying, but I want Rolly to win. Like that's like 95% of the people out here what they're saying. Me personally, I'm still sticking on the pick. We'll get into
Oh,
that.
whoa.
I
Let's wait
know.
that to
We'll
the
get
end.
into
Let's
that.
wait that
We'll get
in.
into that in a
Because
bit.
the people are dying to know, bro. The people are dying to know. So we'll do the fight
Yeah.
picks in the end. But I was going to say, just on a personal note, bro, like I'm going to be honest. I don't mean no disrespect, but like, I don't know that there's another boxer who went from a fighter I don't like and I don't really care to hear from. Like, I thought it was just kind of a joke, to be honest. The
Yeah.
late start, the style.
Yeah.
But now, bro, his story, everything, his personality has got me as a fan. Just being honest, I
Right.
want to see him do well. You just can't help but cheer for the dude. He's wearing his emotions on his sleeve. Are you kind of getting the same vibe? Like people just, it's
Yeah.
hard to hate him type deal?
That's what I'm telling you. I think it's like one of those things where I don't know if they believe in him and his skill set. I definitely think some people do, but I think a lot of people just get attached to his personality, his persona, because he's a very down to earth guy. You talk to him, he doesn't act like a big shot. You know what I mean? He'll give you the time of day. But it's funny because there's two sides to Rolly that many people don't notice. There's the funny, I'm laughing side. Everything's a game and a joke. But then there's the side of him where it's kind of like, he turns up and then he just doesn't want to talk. He just ignores everybody. So I don't know, man. I like Rolly though. He's a cool cat for sure.
Yeah, man, he's really cool, dude. Have you noticed any difference in the fight? Because look, just watching from the outside, it's like almost. I don't want to say they're trying to, especially from the TO side, trying to force what Rolly keeps calling a fake beef, right? Because it's like all love, and then all of a sudden you get these weird moments. Have you
Mm.
noticed any difference because of the friendship than a normal fight week between them two? Like, do you feel like when they have those moments, is it real, the fake moment? I mean, the angry moments, or what are your thoughts just from where you're seeing?
I don't know, man. It's hard to tell, bro. Because when we were at the press conference, I was like, oh, they're selling it really good, you know, and they're selling it really, especially in the beginning, But then as soon as like Rolly kind of got upset over Tio saying, oh, no, you've never really been by my side. You've just been fake. You could see that he actually got upset because he started saying, what do you mean? I'm the only one that was there, and he started turning up. And then the fathers got into it, and at this point, I don't want to say it's a beef, but I definitely know that the temp is high. The temperature's high, and nobody wants to lose to each other. If that makes sense.
100%, bro. You be BFFs all you want. I know a couple of friends, guys that I grew up with, but if it ever came down to like, hey, man, we got to see who's the best, you got to
Yeah,
put, there's pride still. Pride is
yeah,
still
that exactly
an
facts. Yeah.
active factor in this fight, despite the friendship. Now, I want to talk a little bit about just kind of shifting gears because this conversation is very relevant for these two fighters. How do you
Mhm.
see their mental state? Because with both of these guys, when things are off outside the ring, and I guess you can say it's about a lot of fighters, but especially with both these guys, when things are off outside the ring, you can see it inside the ring. What
Mm.
kind of vibes are you getting from their mental state right now, bro?
I think they're both definitely in a better place. I feel like Rolly's kind of developed. He seems like he's maturing. With time. He's not now that he found his relationship with God. He brought back his faith. He feels like even the little things like him lifting his belt in front of Tio's face. That just shows me that he's confident. Like he finally believes in his abilities. Not that he did it before, but I feel like it's on a different level. As for Tio, I definitely think he believes in himself, but there's definitely more pressure on him, and you could tell from everything. You could tell the way he's talking. It doesn't seem like he wants to play any games. Obviously, coming off the Shakur loss, he doesn't want to lose to someone like Rolly. It would hurt his brand a lot, and that's why I think this fight's going to be very interesting, bro. Because when it's two friends, it's either going to be completely, a sparring match, not fun, just kind of boring, or it's going to be a total war. And my thing is I don't think Tio wants to lose to Rolly because he knows Rolly isn't on his level, and I don't think Rolly wants to lose to Tio because that's his friend. It's like you said, the
Yeah.
pride. So that's what makes this fight so interesting. But I definitely do want to say that Tio is the one that has more pressure on his shoulders.
You think Tio's got more pressure? Here, let me hit these comments right quick, bro. Shout out to Chica Lean, who was actually covering Wednesday. Shout out to Chica Lean. Shout out to Ramirez, who was actually sending me content from the Serrano fight last night. He's just getting home. So shout out to Ramirez Boxing too, man. Much love for all the
Shout out.
all the support. Um, I was gonna ask you this though. Do you think that any one of them is going to be trying too hard? Like, who's gonna be less natural thinking about shit? Like, do you think Rolly's going more for the knockout? Do you think like who's gonna be out of their element more based on what you see? Who's gonna let the outside noise enter the fight more? Who's more? Who's less focused?
I don't want to say either of them are less
Yeah,
focused. I think it's going to kind of start off a little slow, to be honest with you, because if you saw the press conference, Salah said that we're going to box Tio, and we've always known Broly isn't really a pressure fighter. He's got power, but I wouldn't call him a pressure. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. I think it's going to be a boxing match, and I think it's going to be more about timing for sure in this fight. And but as to say that which one's not focused is hard to tell, man. They were a really good poker face, and I think they're both locked in. To be honest, I think they both know what they got on the table.
That's good stuff, man. You mentioned Salas. Let me throw up what has been my favorite moment of the week thus far. Hold up.
You know what? I am very proud to be a Cuban. You know what I mean? I never had to be a Cuban. But you know what? I've been making 25 world champion in my whole life. Not only Cuban.
Salas, where are you? Where are you?
What you say?
Ain't nobody know who the fuck you are, bro.
Yes, I'm going to show you on Saturday who fucking I am.
I don't know if you can hear it, but that was let me show you Saturday who effing I am. Who
Yeah.
fucking I am.
They were turned
Man,
up,
so
bro.
look, this is another hot topic for this fight specifically. We can always talk about the trainers in every fight, but especially in this fight because we saw what happened. Two reasons. We saw what happened in T.O.'s corner with Shakur Stevenson, and a lot of people aren't talking about this, but we're seeing a progression in Rolly. Starting
Yeah.
with the jab, starting with the Ryan Garcia fight, the 12 rounds of focus and discipline. This seems like an obvious answer, but what are your thoughts on the corners and how much influence do you think that's going to have on the fight tonight?
That's going to be a big deal, bro. I think whoever has the best corner is obviously going to take the win, but it's also about who could listen to the game plan. We know that Tio Senior isn't, especially the last fight, he gave horrible advice. But I think now that he realizes, even my son checked me live on air and everything, I think he knows he's got to go back to giving him proper instructions. But yeah, bro, they both definitely need to listen to their corners. I think in this case, I like Salah, bro. It seems like, like you said, Rolly's been progressing. He's been showing that he's got a jab. He's been showing he could be patient and, keep his emotions inside. Something that in the Tank fight, he was a little too green for still. He thought he was winning and he said, let me try to get this knockout. He got,
Yeah.
he got caught. But yeah, I definitely think Rolly's mentally prepared. His corner's well prepared. But again, he's climbing a upward hill, because Tio's got all the experience and all the championship degree pedigree level under his belt.
I know it was easy. I never, ever, ever thought I would be asking this question on a Spit Bucket show, bro. But we're like I mentioned a bit. I think we're seeing a Rolly that's improving. Do you think the boxing? Do you think he's got the ability to? Before we do the actual prediction, do you think he has the ability to outbox Tio for 12 rounds, or do you think his only shot is a knockout?
It's hard, man. It's hard, but honestly, he has the ability, but I don't see it. I just think that if he could, okay, if he could get Tio to be uncomfortable use it with his power, then I definitely could see that. But Tio's gonna have to really, really respect Rolly's power in order for him to not throw his own. And I just feel like Tio's a little bit more athletic and he throws a little bit more than Rolly. So I definitely want to say that it would be hard to see Rolly outbox Tio, but anything could happen, especially this being Tio's first fight at welterweight, and Rolly could crack it. It really seems like he filled in properly. He looks a lot better than he did at 135. So if he cracks Tio, you never know, man. Tio himself said that Rolly's the biggest puncher he's ever faced. So
Yeah, and we heard Tank say the same thing, and they both look healthy. They both look healthy in terms of fitting in. All right, so we're gonna go down some categories before we make the pick. You tell me who do you think has the edge, and then we'll go walk right into your picks. Power,
ooh, Rolly,
speed,
Tio,
jab,
Tio,
IQ,
Tio,
chin,
Tio.
corner/trainer,
I'll give Rolly,
experience,
Tio.
and their mental state.
I'm gonna go with Rolly on that one. I like
All
Rolly
right,
for
bro.
that
And
one.
then look, I know you probably came into this week with your idea of what's going to happen. A, has this week swayed anything? Seeing them in the presser, seeing them in the weigh-ins, their interactions, and B, tell us how you see this fight playing out.
It's definitely made me believe in Rolly a lot more, and I don't know if it's just the fans and the boxing media giving me that, making me feel like, oh shit, Rolly has a good chance. And it's definitely, you know, like I said, with the presser, with the weigh-in, with the little bit of tension we did see with the corners, it's definitely making me think that they're actually going to go in there and fight. They're not looking to give a boring sparring match. So that's definitely what's exciting about it. Before I give my pick, though, I wanted to know one more thing. You know, when it comes to chins, I know people say, you know, oh, you know, Tio can get caught, and he's been a little, you know, chinny in the past. He's gotten knocked down like 3 times. But what I always like to tell people, pay attention to when he's been knocked down. Against Cambosis, it was a flash knockdown. He got right back up. I don't really think he was hurt. He was just had a tough fight, you know, given the fact that he was
Mm-hmm.
sick and all that. Sandor Martin, I believe he dropped him twice. But those were all flash knockdowns. I've never seen Tio too hurt. On
Mm-hmm.
the opposite side, though, Rolly, and obviously this was before he was filled in at 147, but we've seen him knocked out by Tank. We've seen him knocked out by Pitbull Cruz. We've seen him get dropped in that one sparring match right after the Tank fight where he got caught with the same shot. You know, he got dropped. And then we also saw him dropped against Ismael Barroso, the 45-year-old man. You know what I mean?
Worst
So
stoppage of all
Rolly's,
time.
yeah, dude, I know. I know. But Rolly's susceptible if he gets hit in the chin to going down and getting hurt. So
Mm.
that's one thing I always like to say because people obviously think Rolly has a better power, and he does, but that doesn't mean he has a better chin. So now, with that being said, like I said, I think Tio is going to win. I think it's a fight he should win. I think it should be a unanimous decision given that he knows Rolly's, you know, habits. But if Rolly makes it a nasty fight where he just doesn't respect Tio, he elbows him a little bit, dirty boxes, I could see Rolly getting it. But me personally, I got to pick Teofimo. I think he's more complete.
Yeah, man, I dig it. I dig it. I'll just throw mine out there. All I think I drank the Vegas Kool-Aid, bro, because since the fight was announced, I'm like Tio. But just seeing the confidence, the focus, the face-off yesterday, like
Mm,
Salas. Putting it all together, I don't think with this being Tio's first appearance at 147, I think Tio is going to be thinking a whole lot. You know,
mm,
proving something to the fans, proving something to himself, proving something to his dad. Can I take the power? All this sort of deal. I think Rolly might be in a little bit more natural, comfortable state.
for sure.
And man, I never, ever a million years thought I would be picking a Rolly over Teal, but I'm switching my pick. I'm about to go to the round by round app and I'm going to
Damn.
change it. I'm going to change my pick to Rolly, bro, because I can see this fight. And here's how I would see it. Here's why I'm making this pick. I can't stop seeing this.
Okay.
Tio getting caught early, despite him being extra cautious. I still see a scenario where he gets caught early and it changes the direction of the whole fight. And a scenario where Rolly outboxes him just behind a jab, just based out of an early check, bro. I could be all wrong. I say it a
That's
million times.
crazy.
If I never
I
pick a
get you.
fight right, I'm totally good with it because that means we're getting good fights. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go make my swap here in a bit, dog. I'm gonna change it up. It's
I
my
like it, bro.
official
I like
pick.
it. I like it because, like I said, I'd rather have a close fight where it's like it could go either way than a fight where we all know who's gonna win. You know what I
Facts.
mean? So I'm excited, bro. You, everybody around, bro, they've been exciting me more because if you guys believe something in Rolly, and you know, I definitely think you guys know your stuff, then there's a good chance, you know, he could pull it off. I think the reason I go with Tio is just simply because I feel like he's been tested a lot more, and he's just a more athletic fighter. He's a little bit quicker and a little bit sharper. But again, he's never been in there with a guy like Rolly who has those power shots. So we'll have to wait and see, man. It's gonna be a good night of boxing.
100%, bro. And to put up or shut up, the selling point is a real thing. When a fighter's
Mm-hmm.
back, when anybody's back is against the wall, and you know
Mm-hmm.
this is it, or obviously Tio's gonna still have options after this, but big picture, this is it, kinda for Tio.
Yeah.
And when he understands that, it'll change the element of focus in camp. Fight night, we should see fireworks. We should see a great performance tonight. But Eric, man, much appreciation for you being out there, like I said, doing the groundwork for the Spit Bucket, man. And at the same time, let everybody know where they can find you. You do great work with your content. I love your content. Let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. And again, much appreciated to you, bro. You got me out here. We're here, we're working, and we're going to continue to work. So you guys can follow me at P4P Boxing Channel across all platforms. I'm going to hop on X, though, because
Come
all you guys
on.
have been telling me that I need to get an X, and I'm going to hop on X for sure. So once I get back, I'm gonna make sure I create the account. For
That's
sure.
the boxing streets, bro. That's where it happens, dog. But cool,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Appreciate you. You'll be actually doing the presser tonight too. So y'all,
Yep.
y'all plug into the spit bucket. He'll be working the presser. Thank you again, bro. Good luck. Enjoy the fights and keep kicking ass out there, dog.
Yeah, salute, brother. Much appreciated. We'll talk.
Later,
See you
bro.
later.
That's Eric Lopez of P4P Boxing Channel. Y'all check his channel out. He's got great content. He ain't just screen recording and posting or just taking pictures and throwing them up, hoping they all like them. He'll break down his reels. He narrates them. Great work. And I couldn't be more honored to have Eric Lopez out there kind of joining the team. We got Chicolene out there working for the Spit Bucket until his platform blows up. Ain't no doubt that this might be one of the only times I got Eric because his platform is awesome already. So much appreciation to those fellows as we continue just to expand this beautiful, massive world and a network of boxing media. Keep looking out for each other. Keep working with each other to uplift this beautiful sport that we all love. We got a real cool bunch of fellas that we work with. Yeah, man, I officially changed my pick. I'm about to, you know what? I'm about to do it right now, live on here. Let me show you guys how awesome this app is. The Round by Round app. Let's see if it'll focus. Round by Round, literally scrolling down to schedule. You pick the fight, and boom, change my pick to Rolando Romero. It's a great app. On the app, you just click on Score Live, and then you just score live. And you on the very bottom of the scoring piece, you just chat with your homies. It's great, man. It's great. Yeah, man, I changed my pick. I was not going to. I was like, stop being so wishy-washy. What's up, Chicolene? What's up, JR, man? My bad. AB was more technical than Maidana. My bad if I'm posting that late. My bad, brother. But yeah, Chicolene, changing the pick, bro. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. It's not the narrative. It's the look in his eye. Yesterday in the face-off, again, and I don't like to look at, I'm more of an X's and O's guy, right? But the thing is, if I was just making this pick off of only Teofimo Lopez's great performances, then this would be an easy pick for me. But both of them have had Teo's had great performances. Rolly's had good performances. But their bad performances, how much of that is controllable? How much, how likely are we to see that type of stuff again? If it was a mental issue or a distraction issue, what have they done to remove themselves from the situation? Look, say what you want about Teo and, all right, this is the last chance and all that. He still has probably a cause of a lot of his stress right there in the corner in his dad. And I mean that respectfully because, we see these people and all that sort of deal. And it's all love, right? Like, I'm not shitting on Teo Sr., but we would be stupid to say, oh, well, he does as much good as he does bad for his son because of the distraction, because of all the extra nonsense, because of how he performs on fight night. So your source of distractions, your source of issues is still there on your team, dog. So, like, when I see Rolly, just a different man for internally, physically, skill set, confidence, all of that. So I have to be careful not to pick a fight based on the old Rolly. I totally see a scenario where Rolly can come out just like Cambosos did and just change the trajectory of the fight. I can't stop seeing it in my head. And if I'm wrong, that means Teofimo's putting out a masterclass and he's digging his toes in there, digging his boots in as one of the names at 147. And look, let's be honest, either one of those guys win, that means they're proving something and they're taking off another name with skills off the list. And that 147 division is kind of starting to become a cool division if we can get these fights to happen. So I'm totally down with I don't give a damn who wins this fight. Of course, I want to be right. Let's see, used to be the Don Juan. Now your name is just Juan. What am I missing, my guy? But anyways, man, yeah, I'm about to rock out of here. I think I did want to hit on a couple of things on the Clarissa, just to close out. Amanda Serrano, damn it. I was going to bring some up. If it felt like I was hating on Amanda, I wasn't. It's just I kind of started to rush it there because I knew I had Eric coming in. But just to put final thoughts on that, look, those are two women that are in completely different stages of their careers. Their careers have looked completely different from each other. and their impact on the sport is going to be completely different. But one thing that you cannot argue is that they are making an impact on the sport. If you're on one side of it versus the other, then it's about a 99% chance that you're on that side for some sort of emotional reason. If you can't pick one without shitting on the other, then you're blind and you don't love boxing, you love people. Because there's no doubt that both of those ladies are doing amazing things for boxing. So you can say what you want about Clarissa, or you can say what you want about Amanda looking basic last night or whatever, or losing to the same opponent 3 times in a row. You can say what you want. Both of those women will leave their footprint on this sport, and it's for the better. The women's sport is going to be exponentially better when they leave. I have my personal, I think one is better at boxing. That's Clarissa. I'm not afraid to say that. I don't feel like I'm disrespecting Amanda for that. Hell, I think Katie Taylor's a better boxer than Amanda Serrano. But their impact on the sport, you'd be silly to try to argue it because nobody's wrong. They're both terrific. Guys, with that said, let me make sure just all the reminders. We shout out to Trevor and the team over at No Worries Home Sale. Again, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you need to do something with your house, hit up my homie at No Worries. I promise you'll get your cash fast, and that giant weight on your shoulders that is your mortgage or your house or the repairs you got to make, just start fresh, start from scratch. All right? Trevor will make that happen. Shout out to Jim Boone. One more reminder, if you need tickets for tonight's fight, text Jim 702-591-1638. If you need tickets for later fights, text Jim. He'll hook you up, man. And then to all of you guys, much appreciation. Don't forget, Monday I'm coming back to announce the next destination, the next giveaway for our quarterly giveaway. This will be our Q4, our last one of the year, unless we get something real juicy pops up. It'll be our Q4 ticket giveaway, our Q4 merch drop. Y'all check it out, become members so that y'all can get in on the action, win some fight tickets. I'll be giving away pay-per-views as well for members, for Bucketheads. So y'all check it out. But guys, enjoy the fights tonight. Fun weekend of boxing. Y'all enjoy the fights, and we'll see if I'm eating crow and if I'm regretting changing my pick on Monday. Shout out to everybody. And one more time, shout out to Eric Lopez of P4P Boxing channel for putting in the hard work out there, boots on the ground, working to fight in sunny, hot-ass Las Vegas. Much love to all you guys. I will see you guys next time. This life is a fight. What are you focused on? There will be doubt. Pain, it's inevitable. But when that bell rings, will you be ready?